To appoint Carol Russell, 4 Bramble Bush Drive, Niantic. David Jakes, 1 Red Fox Road, East Lyme. David Zoller, 3 Spinnaker Drive, Niantic. Roger Spencer, 31 South Pine Street, Niantic. And David Bond, 50 Smith Street, Niantic, to serve on the Water and Sewer Commission with terms to expire on January 8th, 2024.
Second?
It's nice to see these men and women re-upping. It's a tough commission. These people know what they're doing, and we have a great water and sewer system because of them. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstain?
I move to appoint Tom Boland, 37 South Street, Niantic, to serve on the Waterford East Lyme Shellfish Commission, also known as WELSCO, with a term to expire on January 8th, 2024.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I move to appoint Eric Cantor, 27 Wells Street, Niantic, to serve on the Waterford East Lyme Shellfish Commission with a term to expire on January 8th, 2024.
Second.
All in favor, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'll move to appoint Pat Larkin, 14 Oak Hill Drive, Niantic. Paul Lucier, 10 Alexander Drive, East Lyme. And Linda Fechtow, 18 Oakwood Road, Niantic, to serve on the Youth Services Commission with terms to expire on January 8, 2024.
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain?
I move to appoint Deborah Jett Harris of 19 Center Street, Niantic, to serve on the Zoning Board of Appeals with a term to expire on January 8th, 2024.
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I move to appoint Stephen Carpentieri of 25 Harvest Glen, East Lyme, to serve on the Zoning Board of Appeals with a term to expire on January 8th, 2024.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. That's our list this evening. That's probably 75% of the list. We have a lot more to do, and we'll be doing those in the next meeting. As you would well imagine, for the record, a lot of work goes into this. While we seem to be rushing through a list tonight, and nominating and seconding, a lot of work goes into getting these folks on board and commitment for another 2 or 4 year term. It's great.
And as you're so fond of saying, it's people like this that make East Lyme great.
Absolutely.
Very
I'm
much so.
glad that that it's now it's like the student is teaching the teacher. Yes, that's a prime example. I mean, we probably 60, 70, 80 people on this list tonight, and these are the people that make our town run. Pleasure to nominate them all. There's a discussion, well, it's not a discussion possible action, but what I need to do is I'll change what the agenda says, or correct it by just saying we want to reappoint that subcommittee that will discuss unaffiliated, the relationship or the
Discussion.
discussion with the unaffiliated group in town. And generally, we have the Deputy First Selectman and Mrs. Hardy in this case, if you two would be so kind, is to take that up. And last year, we were able to do it this time of the year.
We got it.
And it's important to do it before the budgets come out so that our budgets can be a little bit more accurate, than we're not holding over on wage contingencies. And all our union contracts have been decided, so you'll be able to base your decisions based on what's coming out of the collective bargaining. And you'll be well equipped with information. So thank you both for taking that up.
We need a
I
motion.
move
Yeah.
to direct Kevin Siri and Roseanne Hardy to meet with the representatives of the non-affiliated employee group to discuss employee benefits for the upcoming fiscal year.
Second.
Any other comment? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. I will move to ex officio reports.
I have none. We haven't had
Yeah.
Youth Services and Parks and Rec come up
Right.
next week, so nothing since the last meeting.
And the
Right.
zoning commission will meet tomorrow night, and they only meet once in December. So
Okay.
that will be it. I'll report at the next meeting.
Great. Mr. Salerno,
Planning meets on the 10th. They
Okay.
moved their meeting because of the election. I did go to the zoning meeting last week, it was a couple weeks ago, and there was, well, actually, the only thing I'll report on is the Aquifer Protection Board met, and they had a presentation on the water report from
Yeah.
the Conservation
Natural resources.
Natural Resources Commission. And I know they're gonna be doing their rounds. They may
Okay.
make them.
Do you think that you could report on that in more detail for us, or should we schedule them to come to us?
I would recommend they come to us. I have the report here. A lot of it's talking about the aquifer, and not just the aquifer, but the water that feeds the aquifer from the north end of town. So I think they expressed interest in coming to us.
Okay.
I mean, I can give you a more detailed report. I'll prepare it a little bit better.
If it's one or the other, but it's not both.
Right.
So if we need to have a presentation by them.
Yeah.
Is there an end game? Is there a goal in mind?
The goal in mind is to is kind of to preserve the open space now that may feed the aquifer. It kind of ties into a lot of work Art Carlson did with his with the commission on the open space acquisition plan. So a lot of it ties into how will preserving that land protect our water in the future.
Right.
It was less a report on, the water quality. There was some
Right.
talk about, there was some talk about other things that could be done. It talks about the tree filters and stuff like that. This is going to go before the, this will be talked about and probably some of it incorporated into the POCD.
Which is also your ex officio.
Which is also my ex officio, yeah. And they're moving
Yeah.
very well. I think they're meeting tomorrow to discuss delegating efforts. I think they've kind of got the general picture now. They have a plan together now. They plan on executing, delegating certain tasks to different people, trying to get more people involved as well from different commissions and such to help with that. So they've got, I don't know, as of a couple weeks ago, 50 or 60 responses to the online survey. They're obviously looking for more, so.
That's for the POCD.
For the POCD. Again, that survey, and Mark, that's kind of just to drive what are people feeling so they could, it's not a scientific survey, so they're not going to treat it as a scientific survey.
If we would like them to report to us, let's try to get that scheduled before we begin the budget deliberations.
So that'll have to be done in January then, because I delivered the budget in February 1st.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Mr. Cunningham?
I attended the WellScout meeting on November 21st, and I think it's been reported in the newspaper that this season there is a scallop season for those that are interested. So hopefully there'll be some out there for folks that are interested in collecting scallops. You have to buy a license. A lot of people will really enjoy it. It's a fun pastime if you're into that sort of thing. So
Have you done that?
I haven't yet, but I'm, there's a couple of people on the board there that might teach me how to do it.
Okay.
I'm hoping to get out there.
All right. Mr. Daigle?
I haven't met recently with harbor management or in the wetlands, but I did have a meeting last evening with the Public Safety Building Vision Committee. We approved some minor changes to the schematic drawing. Of importance is we are adding a public bathroom to the lobby, which would be outside the secure area, so the public could use it. And we relocated the detective's interview room inside the closed area to support that. We did also share a report that the housing project going on adjacent to the property that the town's in discussion with, and they are looking to bring water up to our property line of the building, which will support bringing water to the building in the future, as well as working for an emergency egress road out to Capitol Drive to support police exiting that way if there's any problems on the 156 end of access to the site. We also approved to go forward with an alt bid deduct for the Sallyport and cells to get a cost for that. Depending on the cost of that and depending on the recommendation we make, and of course the Board of Selectmen, Board of Finance, and the public, if that becomes too expensive, then that can be deducted from the bids. But we thought we'd get a better value bid having it included, and right now we're in the ballpark of potentially having that done and having the building done all within the original $6 million ROM that was discussed back in the spring.
Right.
So, and then we're gonna add alternate bid ads for the structural upgrades if the modification is not approved by the state of Connecticut, and also for the elevator car. We plan on doing the elevator structure at the beginning, but with no planned immediate use of the second floor. We'll get a cost to install the car. Well, that'll give us full value cost of what everything would cost, and we'll make a recommendation. The board, and like I said earlier, the boards and the town folks will make a final decision of what the final project will entail. We also had a discussion with 3 representatives from Eversource regarding some energy efficiency and some cost savings. We basically spoke about LED lighting. We spoke about emergency diesel generator meeting some requirements of EPA that would, when there's high peak demands during the year, would allow us to go off the grid per request and get reimbursed for going off the grid and using our generator to run the building. And also to go look at the air handling unit replacement from an energy efficiency standpoint, and potentially looking at some control system, either adds or potentially replacement or upgrade, so that some of the larger rooms in the facility that aren't occupied 24/7, you can actually, turn down the volume of air exchange from outside air, which cuts your heating and cooling costs when those spaces aren't used. But for instance, when the EOC is being manned for a drill or an event, you certainly need to meet the requirements of outside air exchange. So don't know if any of those will yield things, but at least we've got agreement with the designer, Silver Petrocelli, and Eversource to exchange some information and come back to us with some potential energy savings and cost savings going forward. So looking forward to the outcome of that. Our next meeting is on January 7th. Silver Petrocelli is on track. A little tight to have the construction drawings and the bid package ready on Christmas Eve, is what their schedule says. So
Yeah, wow.
we scheduled our meeting for
we
the
just-
7th to give them a little bit of margin and to allow us to enjoy the holidays. We do need to go to work on the forefront matter of the bid, all the technical information, the IAA format of how the bid comes in, but whether we want to go with, what type of contracting we want to go with the bidder. We have to put that in the front matter, so we'll be working with the town to, get that request for quote, a request for proposal put together, so that when we do get that package and the committee approves the construction drawings, we can proceed to the bidding process to understand what our costs will be and formulate our recommendation to come back to the Board of Selectmen, the Board of Finance, and the residents of East Lyme. So, good progress, good cooperation and collaboration by members of the committee, and support from the Silver Petrocelli and last evening from Eversource. So, we're very happy where we're at and where we're going, and we're getting close to being able to come forward with a recommendation.
Mr. Daigle, you're doing an amazing job. Thank you.
My
I know it's
pleasure.
your vocation. I know you're kind of used to this stuff. Some of this stuff is. I think you're the only one who'd be qualified for it. I'm just thrilled that you're able to lend your services, your talent, to the town and to this project. And the good news is, obviously, that this project is tracking to be on budget.
Two other things I apologize
Sure.
left out.
Sure.
One, we should have a discussion about the actual time that we're going to turn this project over to the to the building committee. I think it's incumbent upon the vision committee to come in back to the boards with our recommendation on what we're gonna do with the actual costs. And then we can either turn it, once we get approval on the final project and cost, we can turn it over to the building committee to place the contract, or we can place the contract and have the building committee take over to go execute the contract. So there's a couple options there. I just feel it's incumbent upon us to come back to you after we have the bids, so we can justify the steps and the things that we did to come up with our recommendation to move forward with the rehabilitation of the Honeywell building.
I think maybe after the first of the year, maybe you and Ray O'Connell just kind of getting together and say what would work.
Right.
Because he's very, very talented, very knowledgeable about his side of things, and you obviously are. You've proven that, and maybe where the proper handoff should be.
Right.
I think that would be the ideal thing, is for you two to work it out, and I think I have confidence this board would support that.
Okay.
Whatever you
And,
two work out.
Communication costs, Chief Finkelstein is working very diligently with some of the town vendors to come with telephone, communications, fiber to the building, and he expects to, if not just before Christmas, within the first week of January, to have actual cost estimates to execute that portion of the projects, which we have basically set aside $500,000 for at this time, outside of what we'd go out to bid for
Right.
through the contractor. So, moving along, and hopefully here within another meeting or two of the committee, we'll be able to come forward here for a recommendation. We probably need to look at meeting schedules to line up first ourselves, then the Board of Finance, and potentially a public hearing if we're gonna be recommending, and
Whenever you're
all gonna
ready.
be approving. We did have a request from a member of the Board of Finance that they want to provide us with a list of presentation items that when we go before them, that they have, so that we can meet their expectations and provide what they're looking forward to have. So whether it's the bid package, whether it's the bids, those type of things. So I think it's beneficial to talk up front, and so that when we do get to that point, we don't have to be sent away to get additional information and then wait for another meeting.
Right.
So if we can get that common agreement up front, it should help us move through to final decisions. So looking forward to that.
Once we get that report, I'd like to go back to the building and have a tour again and see exactly visually how that would play out.
It's a great idea.
No.
That's a good idea.
Great. That's your report, Mr. Daigle?
That is my report.
Thank you. Mine is very, again, we've had election season, and this is this lame duck period of time where we're waiting for everyone to be sworn in. I congratulate all the men and women who are serving our town in elected positions. They were all sworn in, or most of them were on Monday, about 48 hours ago. So thus, we are starting the new session this week with all the boards and commissions. Will have many will have new people on them. We're fortunate to have the 6 of us back. This group works exceptionally well together, and we've done great things for our town. Holiday Stroll was this past Saturday. The biggest and best ever. I mean, it grows every year. Great crowds, great feedback about just the shops downtown, and the welcoming feeling for downtown. Hopefully the small shops do well during the Christmas season, during the holiday season. Obviously, the light parade will be on the 14th. It will start off with fireworks this year, again. We thought it was a one and done last year, but Dominion got pretty excited about that and has donated money. So before the first float comes down down the hill on Main Street, fireworks will light up the sky once again. So get there early, get a good spot, and we'll have fireworks above Main Street before the light parade. That's on the 14th. Jeepers, I don't know when it kicks off, so check the website, check the boards in front of the town hall. It's usually like 6 o'clock or 5:30. It's early because it gets dark pretty early and it gets cold, right? So lots of things like that coming up. We have a meeting in a couple of weeks where we'll do a lot more talk about appointments and holidays and all that. So that's my report this evening. We go from ex officio to the public comment section, and unless Chris has something to say, you're welcome to. I don't think you would, though. We can go to adjournment.
Can I add one item, just to?
Yeah, absolutely.
Also on the
Oh, I get one
14th,
too.
Will be the Niantic Jingle Bell 5K.
I'm sorry, yeah.
10 o'clock in the morning. Registration starts at 8:45, and it's a great activity. We have costume judging contests, and look forward to another enjoyable community event. So thank you.
I have one other thing for my report that I failed to make a comment on. I'm not running in the Jingle 5K. I am a sponsor, and I'll be there in my my Waldo scarf, I'm sure, my candy cane scarf. But the fishermen dock leases are coming up for renewal on January 1st. I did have a subcommittee. I know you folks had met several times throughout the course of the year. So I would need a report from you, if there's anything to report at the next meeting, because I have to go to renew leases or find
Yes.
new tenants, okay? So if
We'll do that.
by next time you guys could, I think it's all you gentlemen, would put that together, I appreciate that. Thank you. That's all I have, if you want to move to adjourn.
I'll move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Why would you? Have a good evening. See you
Yes.
next time.
All right.